Hi, my name is Karen Martin, and I teach in the Denali Borough School District, which is a rural road system school district, and I've taught here for 18 years. And I appreciate the opportunity to share with you a few things that I feel like teachers who are coming into the profession could use. And first of all, really important to me is helping teachers understand what it means to be a professional in a knowledge-based profession, and specifically developing capacities for teachers to be researchers and inquirers of their own work. And I'm not talking about academic level research, but a mindset of being flexible, being willing to try new things, to experiment with their practice, but at the same time to determine their own efficacy and the impact of their work, and to be able to defend their strategies and their instructional practices with deep pedagogical rationale. And I think more importantly is that flexibility and the willingness to be teachable learners over the lifetimes of their careers. Another thing that I think is important is to develop capacities, to support teachers to develop capacities to work with children's families and communities. In increasingly polarized climates of distrust in public education, I think this requires a really high level of communication skills and humility. And I think this is an area where teachers have room to grow in deeply understanding the essential nature of community and family partnerships as part of their professionalism. And then two other things, I think helping teachers develop specifically in the domain of curriculum design as part of the professional dimensions of teachers is really important. The teachers who can look at a unit, a lesson, or even design it themselves to be able to evaluate whether standards are deeply taught and if students have the opportunity to learn those and to assess whether it was truly learned. I see too many teachers, young teachers coming in relying on teachers pay teachers and other lesson plans, even curriculum units of instruction. And I think the ability to evaluate a really rich curriculum and the theories behind curriculum design are an important and underdeveloped part of our profession. And then the last thing is as a deep focus on supporting teachers to teach reading. Waiting or hoping that seeing teachers come into our districts who are taking 1 to 2 or 3 years to really learn to understand how to teach well is kind of high stakes for our students. There's too much at stake to be lost in that time. And there's some crucial gaps that happen, especially in the primary grades. And so really taking time to support teachers to really understand how to teach reading, I think, is super critical going forward. Thanks for your time.
Hi, my name is Hunter Blair, and a couple things and advice that I have for preparing our next generation of educators is pretty simple. Be practical and be intentional. And keep in mind that every single student, aspiring teacher, school has different needs and different focuses. And that the ultimate goal is equitable outcomes, meaning that every single one that runs through that program is becoming a prepared teacher. And that comes through differentiated instruction. I want to also say to begin with the end in mind, and that the whole goal of the program is to invest in the state by providing wonderful educators of the highest caliber that the state can put out to the state. This comes through a variety of things, but also keep in mind that it is the goal and intention of every student and staff member there to be the best person they can be. And if you can come in that framework, everyone in that program and every person who interacts with you or anyone involved will have a positive outcome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mark Martin. I'm a middle school science, math, and engineering teacher in Denali Borough School District. And I was recently asked to share a few things that I would have loved to have known and been better prepared for as I go into the profession of teaching. And therein, I would start with one of the first ones is how important that student voice and choice is present in the work that I present to the students. When that is then place, the learning is incredible. When students feel that you respect them and that they have a role in what is going on in their learning, they become much more invested and you can get more out of them. The second thing is that the power that expectations for high quality work have. Critique and revision is a professional practice, and that leads to high quality work. Herein, we need to create a culture of positive peer pressure when students can push themselves to higher levels. We are not preparing them for life in some future day. They're doing it now, and they need to be acting and performing as such. And then third and lastly, the fact that this is a proud and powerful career. You will be an educator, and with that comes the required belief of being a lifelong learner, and that is for both you and your students. Always seek to improve your practice. Admittedly, in the first few years, you'll definitely be trying to just survive, but with that, in that stage, be careful how many things you add. But then shortly after that, you'll be able to get into a rhythm in your teaching. And after a couple of years, then the caution is do not settle into complacency. The students deserve your best work and your improving effort. With that, each year you can find one thing to improve on. You are in the business of education and learning, and that is what we are helping the students to learn and do themselves. So we must incorporate that and believe it as well. So with that, those are a few things that have driven me and that I've developed over the years and would have helped me to know earlier on. Thanks.
Hi, this is Susan Cunnington, Superintendent of Montezuma High School. I think that culturally responsive education has all the answers in knowing who we are working with, what their assets are, what their strengths are, how we can cultivate what they need to reach the expectations that are high, that are individualized but collective, that allow us to work together, bring intentionality to re-energizing our Alaska Native languages and cultures. Gunashish Koyana Teku Chinan Anabasi